Hey, it's Rebecca Smith from the KBIA newsroom in Columbia, and it's time for Missouri Health Talks, a project where we listen in on Missourians' conversations about access to health care. For the month of September, we're focusing on the health of those living in West and West Central Missouri. New Growth Transit is based in Dorado Springs, and it serves its community as a sort of neighbor-to-neighbor rideshare, where community member volunteers are reimbursed to drive folks to the doctor, work, or to get groceries. Kelly Aust and Kelly Knepp with New Growth Transit spoke about how this volunteer transit model is meeting the needs of their communities. Here's Kelly Aust.
Our biggest challenge in rural transportation is distance. So the model of a bus brings a solution to density. And so in rural communities, we have distance, not density. And that's why microtransit models such as these, and we even see these in the urban areas, seem to be utilized more frequently and they're preferred. And so a volunteer transportation network, to me, meets both those needs because it's more sustainable. If you have a bus, you have a bus stop, you have a route, you have a full-time driver, you have benefits. And so this model meets the needs of the riders, because what we don't see is there are not very many standard schedules. You have your manufacturing schedule. You know, you're transporting them at 7 o'clock in the morning. You got to be on the road at 6. They're done anywhere from 3 o'clock in the afternoon till 7 o'clock at night. And then you've got agriculture, which is one of the largest employers in the area, as well as all the medical facilities. So you've got a lot of different rotation and shifts.
So volunteer drivers, everybody thinks, oh, who are they? Is that just the retired people that don't have anything else to do? But really it isn't. It's just someone who is looking for something to do, but also giving back to the communities that they live in. We have a variety of volunteers with a variety of different backgrounds. You know, we have gentlemen that were truck drivers for a number of years. We have retired school teachers. We have just a little bit of everything, and that's what makes our group wonderful because of the variety of backgrounds that they come from.
And I think we've utilized something that's always very prevalent in rural communities, and that's volunteers. You know, we unfortunately don't have large endowments. We don't have a lot of money flowing into these rural areas. And so they're naturally what some people would consider impoverished. But we do have the power of people and of volunteers. And so last year, in our last contract year, which actually ended in June of 2025, our volunteers and our program drove over 1 million miles. That's in a 12-month cycle with a little over 65 volunteers. So the impact that they're making was completely overseen as an asset to all of these rural communities. And you know, those volunteer drivers are receiving a reimbursement of 70 cents a mile. And I think sometimes the reimbursement is a little bit of an incentive, but what we find is that the majority of our volunteer drivers do this because it's about purpose.
That was Kelly Knepp and Kelly Aust with New Growth Transit based out of Dorado Springs, speaking about how their volunteer-based transit model is serving their community. That's it for this week's Missouri Health Talks. Tune in next week for more conversations from throughout the state about health and access. I'm Rebecca Smith. Thanks for listening.